Vikings. The Vikings could raid extremely well throughout their time. They used strategies that no one would know coming. They were fierce and dangerous. So the real question is, why were they successful raiders? Well, that is what I'm going to tell you. Vikings used a lot of very successful strategies at their time. They used longboats. Their longboats were long, small boats that could sail across the seas and in rivers. The longboats could sail in shallow water, which will allow them to be able to attack a place using the element of surprise. They would quickly stop on a beach and attack a place, quickly and fiercely. After they attacked, they would quickly run to their longboats with their loot and make a quick escape if people were chasing them down. Vikings would run into battle using longswords, battle axes, and spears. They would not really wear much armor, but some of the Vikings did wear chainmail. Vikings came into battle very prepared. Back at the time, they used the coast to help them. Vikings fought in a way of not really having a plan. They mostly just ran into battle and went berserk. Vikings thought that Odin, the god of war, would protect them when they ran into battle without any armor on. Vikings brought lots of supplies with them to battle. They brought shields, water, food, weapons, and much other essential supplies. The Vikings' voyages took about 3 to 10 days. The longest voyages were because of strong winds and rough seas.
Vikings' battle equipment. The helmet was made out of leather or iron. Some of the helmet had some iron to protect the nose, and others had a chin strap lined with bear or animal skin, and some had both. Most important Vikings were chainmail because their life was more important. Chainmail was metal rings bound together to make a protective barrier from swords. It did not work so well for axes and spears because of the impact. If the mail was cut under and the skin was pierced, then you would get infected from tetanus and die. The way they stopped that from happening was by making the metal rings smaller and binding them tighter together. This made the chainmail even heavier. Many people carried axes, and most of the important people had decorated their axes. Their shields were made out of wooden planks, and they were hanged off the side of the ship when they were at sea. On a Viking raiding ship, there were 30 to 40 men, and a ship's crew might even go up to 400 men. Most of the men were quite young, and they had advanced weapons training, but they still had no skills or strategy. The reward for the Vikings after each raid was the loot of the towns or monasteries. They would also take men and women and townsfolk as slaves, and they would also strip the bodies that they had killed for money and loot. In conclusion, the reason that the Vikings won was because of their basic but effective armor, ships, and battle tactics. And that is why the Vikings run almost all of their raids.